there really can't be a better way to kind of celebrate our 40th episode of the Snake Rack Report, other than to talk about the two males that are in these two tubs right here underneath their little hides. And I'll get to them in a minute. Please remember to like and subscribe. Click both of those buttons. It takes a second and it helps grow this channel, and I appreciate it. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we found out that RGI was able to test for black xanthic, because black xanthic is the same thing as TSK xanthic, they found out. So that's a good thing in terms of opening up the project a little more. So I had quite a few snakes in that project from last year, from the black xanthic project, that needed shed testing. My original snake that I bought for that project was from Canova. It was a black-head leopard Mojave triple het hypopide black xanthic. I bred him to 3 visual black xanthics last year. I bred him to a hypopide, and I bred him to like a cinnamon mahogany pied female. So I actually did test 2 of the snakes I have for sale on Morph Market, and I've updated their listings. One was this ginormous boy. I really need to move him up in a new tub. So he tested negative for everything except for pied, because his mom was pied. So his updated listing with updated pricing. And this male, black-head leopard Mojave, he is black xanthic because his mom was black xanthic visual. He tested positive for pied and negative for hypo. So he's a double het pied black xanthic, black-head leopard Mojave. So I updated both of them on Morph Market with their new genetics, and I adjusted the pricing accordingly, because the black leopard Mojave's price didn't change a whole lot, because he's still, a double het snake with 3 genes in him. But anyways, the hypopide pairing that sire had last year, I had fantastic odds in that clutch. I only had 4 snakes out of it, 2 males, 2 females. Both of the males were black-head leopard Mojave hypopides. And obviously they were pos het black xanthic, which I couldn't test for until now. Both of the females were also visual pides. They were not hypo, but they're het hypo, because the mom was a visual hypo. And they both look like they're black-head leopard Mojave as well. Pos het black xanthic. I'm not going to test those 2 females, because I'm going to keep them one way or the other. I could care less if they are, and I'm probably going to end up breeding them back into this project anyway, so I'll figure out if they're black xanthic just from breeding. So these males, at least one of them for sure, this guy here, tested out to be het black xanthic. So what that means is this boy is black-head leopard Mojave hypopide, 100% het black xanthic. As far as I'm aware, this is the only snake like this anywhere. I have never seen one listed before. I have never seen one for sale on Morph Market. Similar snakes, but nothing with all of the exact genetics that this snake has. They have these insane purple heads, as you can see there. They're actually getting a little darker with age. As you can see, like the nose is actually a little darker than it was when they hatched out of their eggs. So this male is an absolute powerhouse for me. And on top of that, he's already 800 grams. I think this clutch was hatched, in the fall last year, maybe September, October. But it's literally one of, if not the coolest snake that I produced last year. And it was actually a snake that people, the only one from last year, people were like, what is that? I want to buy it. Please let me buy that from you. Obviously, I couldn't sell them because I couldn't test for black xanthic at that point. But now that I can, I hit the jackpot with this male. I can't wait to start breeding him upcoming soon. I have some pinstripe hypopide stuff I can breed him to, and a bunch of other potential. So let me get him back in there. So he's one of a kind. Well, except for his brother here. He was actually a little higher pattern than him. So this male, I don't have a shed for, unfortunately. I really wish I did. But he's the same exact snake. He's a little smaller, but he's still over 700 grams. And he's black-head leopard Mojave hypopide pos het black axanthic. Now, whether or not he has that black axanthic in him is actually going to affect a lot of what I do. I don't need to keep both of them. If he does not test positive for black axanthic, he's obviously the snake on the chopping block because the other one has more genes in it. If he is black axanthic, I'm still going to sell one of these two snakes. I'm probably going to have to make up my mind as to which one it's going to be. I originally liked this one better because it had a little more pattern, but I think the other one's staying a little darker. So it's probably going to be a hard decision as to which one I'm keeping. But look at the color on that head. It is as gray. It's like a grayish purple, one of probably the grayest, most purplish colors that I've seen on a ball python. And it's sticking like that. I mean, it looked like this when he was born. He's 700 grams now, and it still looks that awesome. These saddles, the back one especially, lighten up a little bit. This one has retained its color pretty well. But these snakes are just absolutely insane. I can't... Let me get them both in here. I mean, I knew that these two snakes were extremely important for me when they hatched out because I had never seen anything like them. I just didn't realize how important they were going to be because these are snakes that are basically, as far as I'm aware, have never been produced and at the very least have never been released on Morph Market or sold. So where does that leave us? Well, these snakes, whichever one ends up getting sold, I'm leaning towards it probably being this one because he's a little smaller and the head isn't quite as dark as it is on his brother. It's going to be an expensive snake because they've never been sold before and they're almost ready to breed or ready to breed depending on what size you breed your snakes at. I'm thinking at least $5,000 and up, depending on whether or not it has black axanthic. If it does have black axanthic, it's going to be a lot more than that, judging on what the pricing was on other snakes that were similar. I think I saw a black axanthic pied hypo or het hypo, something with those without any extra genes in it that was listed and sold at like $10,000. So these are gonna be an expensive snake, but I will have one available. And this might be the only one you come across for a very long time. This is the sort of thing where I, tell people in my Patreon, where I kind of say you need to make big decisions with your pairings, because at the beginning of the day, when I purchased my black-head leopard Mojave triple het male, my whole goal was to just make black axanthics because I saw some of the black axanthics that Justin at Canova was producing. When I paired him up to a hypopide, these were not the snakes I was expecting to come out. And to be honest, I didn't know what to expect to come out because these had never been produced before, or at least listed on Morph Market. I was not expecting snakes to come out that had these little purple heads. That was not something that I ever expected to see coming out of one of those eggs. And it ended up being something that completely shocked me. So, when I tell people, that are in my Patreon or that I'm mentoring, sometimes you gotta take shots and sometimes you gotta make make bigger pairings and not just stuff everybody else is making. This is the sort of stuff that I'm talking about, because this isn't the first snake this year that I've made that I have never seen before. It's not the first time I've produced a snake that I haven't seen before, even in my career of ball python breeding, and I haven't been doing this very long. And sometimes it just takes stepping a little bit out of the realm of the normal, what everybody else is doing. Don't follow the parade. Maybe you jump off a street early And things like this can happen. So I'm pumped about this. It was a crazy way to start this, to end this week, I should say. I can't wait until this other male sheds to figure out if he is het black axanthic. If he is het black axanthic, it probably raises the price tag significantly on him because he's a double visual recessive, plus a het recessive, plus he's got 3 codoms that make crazy snakes. And if I've never seen a black-head leopard Mojave triple visual black axanthic hypopide, but if this one looks this cool, can you imagine what this looks like with no yellow in it? If the axanthic's in there and all of this yellow comes out of there, I mean, that's the closest we're ever probably going to come to a silver snake, I would imagine, the way this looks now. If all that little bit of yellow that's still in there is gone, it's going to be a silver snake, a silver and white snake. So it's an insane project. I can't wait for this one to shed. I hope it's soon, because I feel like it's been a month or two before I remember him shedding, and I'm kind of kicking myself that I threw it away and I wasn't trying to collect it. I didn't know the test for TSK was coming down the road. If I did, I probably would have kept it. But this is insane. I mean, it's insane. When I got that test result last night, like, I ran downstairs, I got on my computer, and I was like, wait, let me double check this. Is this the right snake? I was like, and I'm looking at his tag, I'm like, 2318-2. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, wait, is that the right snake? He even has a name already. I call him Prince because he's kind of purple. It blew my mind. So I'm ecstatic. This is the sort of stuff that, I live for in this hobby. It's just it's crazy. RGI, I'm helping them out with the shed testing with MJ stuff as well. So I'm hoping that even some of the snakes I kept last year that were POS had MJ prove out to be MJ as well. I guess they're helping me too because I'm getting free shed testing. So it's kind of a mutually beneficial thing. And it's kind of the same thing. If my clown het pieds, a bunch of these females that I produced with a couple genes also end up being MJ axanthic, I'm gonna have like a fleet of clown het pied het MJ axanthics that I can breed this year. And then one of these 2 males, I have the 2 females from this clutch that are potentially het black axanthic that can be bred to them. I have pinstripe hypopides. Pinstripe, if you don't know, brings more pattern back into pied. So if I'm able to breed one of these snakes with a pinstripe hypopide, bring more pattern back in, then that's awesome too. I'll probably end up breeding one of these males back to one of my black axanthic females because, or maybe even both of them, they're not related at all to the females because these came from a hypopide female. They're going to guarantee me genetics in every baby. So instead of me having to worry about shed testing or what's coming out of these eggs, everything at the very worst is going to be triple het hypopide black axanthic. So I'm on the fence about that now, but because I have such a powerful breeder male, like, I could take him to a clown pied, right? And then I'm producing pied, double het clown hypo, POS het black axanthics. That's how powerful a snake like this can be. It could make me a visual triple het. Plus it has black head leopard Mojave in it. So, and I have a clown pied het hypo female. I have a hypo pinstripe double het clown pied female. So I could even take him to those, and that'll make me hypopides that are het clown and POS het MJ axanthic, or black axanthic. So it's sort of like taking these projects, taking them a step down the road and thinking to yourself, well, I can just make some plain black axanthics with these clutches, with these snakes, or I can take it a step further and I could maybe introduce a new recessive to it. So instead of me just continuously producing pied our black xanthic double head hypopides, I work clown into the mix. And now I'm working on a quadruple recessive project, but I'm sort of getting a jump start because if this pinstripe clown pied head hypo female makes any double visual hypopides with this male, they're going to be double visual hypopides, and they have like a 50% chance odds of that happening. Every snake is going to be het clown. So right there, I'm getting a double visual het. And then half the babies in that clutch should be het black xanthic. So, I mean, there's pretty good odds of me hitting a double visual, double het recessive in that clutch. Better than you'd think. And that just throws that project light years down the road. Plus she's pinstripe. So black-head leopard Mojave pinstripe hypopide, plus het clown and plus het black xanthic. Holy crap. And that's something I could do this year. So, you know, man, it's like what's cooking in your brain? You know, what are you thinking about? What are you doing? What projects are you working on? What's next? Where do I need to be to go to the next level? And those are all the sorts of things that I'm thinking about all the time. That's all the sorts of things that, you know, when people are on my Patreon and I am talking to them, giving them advice, what I'm kind of telling them to do. And the awesome thing about buying this snake, whichever one I end up selling, is basically the way I have my Patreon tiered is that if you spend over $5,000 with me total, you get my top tier of Patreon for $1 per month for life. So what that means is like basically free mentoring. You get my phone number, you get access to the Instagram group, you get access to first dibs on all my animals, all the sales, and just for buying the snake. So there's a lot that's going to come with it. I'm basically going to try to turn this into being like a big event, selling the snake to somebody, because it's a very important snake. And for somebody, it's going to be the jackpot, and it's going to change their whole breeding, their breeding philosophy, their breeding plans, because of how powerful that snake's going to be. And because nobody else has it. You can go buy yourself an OD DG pied, and that's great, and it's a powerful snake, but they're not hard to get, and there's a lot of people already doing it. This triple recessive project is still kind of in its infancy. And I bought my male from Justin in 2022, I think, but it was a 2021 or 2020 snake. And Justin was actually using it as a breeder before I bought it from him. So he's been working this triple recessive project for a while. I don't know if I've seen a triple visual out of him yet that has these genes in it. I know triple visuals have been produced, black xanthic hypopide, but I haven't seen them with black-head leopard Mojave in it. So, I mean, there's a lot to do with this project, and it's very powerful. And I think black xanthic and TSK being the same gene, or at least compatible. I don't know if they've said it's the same thing or if it's a compatible thing, but it doesn't matter because they work together. It actually opens up the floodgates to it even more, because you can pull in more snakes from the gene pool. And I was even looking myself. I was like, well, what can I get that's TSK het pied? I want to make some more black xanthic pieds like right away, because these guys, whichever one I keep, is ready to go pretty much now. So if I can get a TSK pied girl or a TSK het pied girl that's almost ready to go, you know, that's like even more firepower in the arsenal. And that's something you can't just go out and buy a black xanthic pied girl. Like, they're not available, and if they are, they're very expensive, but I've seen like one on the market in the last half a year. So this is insane. This was fantastic news, and I only hope that after the crappy start to the year that the rest of the news that I have coming out here is just like this, because I'm due. So this is awesome. It made my day last night when I found out the news. If anybody out there is watching and you're interested in this snake and you are ready to invest in a powerful project, hit me up. Shoot me an Instagram message or private message me. This is awesome. Awesome project. I'm very excited. And I'm hoping this guy sheds soon so I can send out his test get it tested, figure out what he is so that I can release him to somebody else.